Hey everyone, this is Certified High Performance Coach Michelle Weimer here with you today. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about how to have success. So there's a quote by Robert Collier. He says, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." Success doesn't always happen overnight, right? If you ask anyone who has been called an overnight success, or if you ever watch a documentary or anything about people that call themselves overnight success or others call them that, like that's not necessarily what happens. They'll tell you that they've spent years working at whatever their goal is day in and day out to make it big. So why then would anyone think that they're going to make a New Year's resolution and just like that, things are going to change overnight? Everything's going to be different. It doesn't quite happen that way. It's not always that easy, but when you think that way, what happens is you kind of set yourself up for disappointment, right? Like if you set a New Year's resolution and you're like, oh, I'm going to start doing this, and then you fall back out of that pattern in a day or two, and then you're like, oh, I'm disappointed, like I totally screwed up, it's all over now, right? And you get discouraged and you want to just quit or stop, right? So if that's you, you can relate, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's one of the reasons that so many people, they give up on their resolutions, right? And I'm going to tell you some more about that next week, so make sure you're on my mailing list so you know when I'm going live or what I'm talking about, because there are several reasons that people stop short of their goals. And again, I'll be talking about that next week. But back to this week's idea of, how to create success for yourself or how to set yourself up for success. The good news is it might not be quite as easy as an overnight success, but it can be simple. And it can be as simple as making small efforts on a daily basis. And, one of the most important keys to creating change successfully in your life is really taking consistent action. And I think that so often we fall short of that. Or when we get off track, we just give up and we don't stick with it. Or we think we can do something once, and then when we don't get the result we want, we give up. Taking decisive, consistent action, that's how we achieve our goals. That's how we create big change in our lives. And the thing about this is it doesn't have to be monumental action. Like it doesn't have to be something big. As a matter of fact, there's rarely one giant step that does it for us. It's usually a lot of little steps or little actions that are going to get you to where you want to go. The problem with that is, again, sometimes we as a world that is really into instant gratification, we want what we want and we want it now. But creating change, again, in your life, it doesn't work like that. So it's important not to lose sight of the fact that small progress is still progress. And I want you to really hear that. Like, write it down for yourself. Small progress is still progress. Because I don't want you to get discouraged. I don't want you to give up on your goals that you've set for yourself this year. I don't want you to fall back into old habits and old patterns if you don't feel like you're making the progress that you'd like. It's about, again, consistent, decisive action. So, think about this then for yourself. What is your plan for reaching your goals? Do you take consistent daily action toward them? Or are you more along the lines of hoping for an overnight success? If you are the latter, then it's time for you to make the plan, right? Having a plan is a huge step in the right direction. And you can use the SMART Goals acronym. You can use there are many different tools out there to help you figure out how to set up your goals. The thing about the SMART Goals acronym, and I know this is something that's been around for a long, long time, I personally have a bit of a different twist on this acronym, and if you want to find out what that is, you can grab the Achieve Success system, and you'll not only get how to set up your goals, but how to actually set up your action steps, because it's not just about the goals, but it's about the actions that you're taking specifically that are going to get you to that goal. So just a quick overview, if you're someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about in terms of SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, so it's very clear. It's right. It's not like I'm going to lose some weight. It's I'm going to lose 10 pounds. You set something specific, and what that helps you do is helps you have the direction. For one thing, you have clarity, and you've heard me talk about clarity before, but it also helps you create measurable progress, so that you know that you either A, are making progress, or B, you're not. If you just say, I want to lose some weight, for one thing, you know, what does that really mean? And if you don't have a goal in mind, if you don't have a true specific deadline, you kind of get discouraged because some is so undefined. But saying 10, and then as you work through that, that's what goes with the M in SMART goals, is measurable. It makes it measurable for you. You can weigh yourself every week. You can, and I'm just using weight loss as an example because it's number one, an easy example, and number two seems to be one resolution that most people have at the beginning of each year, especially if you're, being in quarantine, as so many people have gained weight and lost a lot of their healthy habits, so they're wanting to get that back. But makes it measurable so that you can really check yourself. And the thing about being measurable is, in setting specific goals, it's not so that you can be disappointed if it doesn't work out like you wanted to. It's so that you have a guide. You have something to keep you on track. And then, there's A is for action. I actually have a really, really big twist on action. So this is something that, again, if you get the Achieve Success system, you'll find out what my twist is when it comes to action. For me, it's not just about action; it's about action orientation, and I explain that in the Achieve Success system. And then the R is, often you'll see online, is realistic, and I don't like that because realistic, it doesn't inspire. Right? So my twist on realistic is actually, my R stands for reachable. And the thing about deciding something's reachable, it puts you in the mindset of finding a solution, of believing that you can achieve it. Is this reachable to me? Yes, absolutely. I can do this. And what it does is it gets your mind looking for the solution, looking for the way. How will I do this? Can I reach this? Yes, I can. How am I going to reach it? Boom. Here's my plan. And then, of course, a timeline. And I think it's really important to have milestones and a deadline, not just a deadline. So again, something that I explained very clearly in the Achieve Success system. So I would encourage you, instead of hoping for some success this year, set yourself up for greater success by creating a plan for yourself, using something like the Achieve Success system, getting your SMART goals set out, and setting up your action steps as well, which I take this concept of SMART goals and I put it in to work with your action steps as well. I have a system for how we do that, and it helps you get your actions lined out correctly. So it gives you a really great opportunity to, like I said, not just set some goals, but set yourself up for true success. So if you are thinking, hey, this is what I need, I would love for you to grab the Achieve Success system. I'll make sure that link is in today's video. And, I just want to encourage you to stay focused, to stay on task, and to not get discouraged when you miss a beat or skip an action. Like, get back on it. Remember, consistent daily action. That's how you're going to achieve your goals. So grab the Achieve Success system, get yourself lined out, make sure you have your plan in place, get your actions set up so that they are moving you forward, and let's make this year different. So until next week, I want to thank you for joining me. Remember, if you're not already following me, if you're not getting my notifications when I go live, if you are not on my mailing list, get there, do that, because you're going to know what I'm talking about. Even before next Wednesday. You're going to get that information early. You'll be the first to know. And then, of course, you'll know when I'm going live to talk about next week's subject, which, of course, is what really trips us up and keeps us from achieving our goals. So thank you for joining me. Those of you who are here with me today, awesome. Love your comments. And until next week, Bye for now.